Hi everyone, today is Wednesday, April 6th. It's currently 7:35 in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. I'm actually doing this filming from Diversity Canada, one province to begin. So I wanted to say good morning and thank you for tuning in. I actually would like to make this video to Daniel Durchholz. I don't even know who this person is, but I don't know if this quote was actually made by him either. But I was on the Amazon.com site looking at some things to buy for business expense purposes, and I was looking at the work of Mr. Kravitz, and I was like, wow, geez, I haven't even heard this, that, or, his songs like for a while. And then there are other songs that I listen to all the time, have been listening to for, his artistry for since the 80s. So, I read this quote and I was really disturbed by it, because I was like, also at the same time looking at information about probably stuff that like music historians look up, and I wanted to see sort of how they spoke about what this thing is, or what the representation is of something called soul in music. And then I thought to myself, you know what, I need to just get back to black, because I'm sick and tired of people trying to appropriate our culture and to say, oh, we were the first to do this, when really they did jack shit. So I came across this quote, and I just wanted to say, Mr. Durchholz, if he really did say this, I don't even know the year, I don't even know, any more details of the citation, but I was like really, really disturbed by this. And basically it says, Kravitz turned out to be an artist in his own right, and had a talented musician who wrote, produced, and played nearly all the instruments on Let Love Rule. He seems to know precisely what he wants to say on his album. Trouble is, it's all been said before by the likes of Prince, John Lennon, and Sly Stone. There is a skill and craft at work here, but genuine inspiration is another matter. The thick patchouli scent around, such as I build this garden for us, Flower Child, and the title track is nearly suffocating, while the would-be protest anthem, Mr. Cab Driver, no, I did not like that, because that's not a protest anthem. That's actually a lived experience by a lot of black people, and is rather uncooked. Overall, Kravitz groove love generation, I'm not sure what that meant, makes him rock's answer to Austin Powers, Daniel Durchholz. And I visit Amazon.com on April 4th, 2016. Now, Mr. Durchholz, I don't even know how to say your name properly, and I like to be respectful to people as well. But I think that, based on that quote, like I said, there could be some technical inconsistencies where that's just not even your quote and somebody misquoted, because they didn't even put the source. They just put your name, and I don't know if you said it in an interview or something, but I think that's a really rude comment and very disrespectful, because the thing with Mr. Kravitz is that I can see how a lot of men can get really asshole-like towards him, because he's a good-looking man and he probably gets a lot of women. But on the other hand, I don't think that he really likes to be sexualized. Like me as a black woman, I don't like to be sexualized and objectified by men either. So I don't think he really appreciates that, when it comes to sort of his personal presentation. And the reason why I say that is because he's very consistent with expressing his soul through his music artistry, and that's what really attracted me to his music. Was, I think it was American Woman that I heard first. Somebody was playing the DVD, and then I said, oh wow, and then, sorry, I think it was Let Love Rule, sorry, I'm doing it backwards, but Yes, it was Let Love Rule, actually. And I don't know, I think somebody stole my DVD or my CD at the time, or I think it was a tape or something at the time. And so a friend was playing this, and I was like, damn, this is really good. Who is this? And he's like, oh, this is Mr. Kravitz, Lenny Kravitz. I'll give you the whole CD. And he gave me the whole friggin' CD. I was just like, wow. And I loved it, I loved it, I loved it, because it wasn't about his sexualization. It was about what this man was speaking about in his music. And I was like, wow, that was the same guy that did Let Love Rule, and, you know, songs that, as a black perspective, puts us into like this mode where we can rebalance and rejuvenate from things related to patriarchy, sexism, racism, intellectualism, even economic marginalization stuff. And when I was just reading into more of the quote, your quote, Mr. Holch, Mr. Dan Holch, sorry for mispronouncing your name. I was like, this person clearly doesn't have a soul, because if you cannot feel the soul of another's artistry through their lyrics and their lyricism, then you know what? You have no right to be calling down and tearing up this person's artistry. If you can do better than him, okay, by all means. But there is nobody out there that touches him, because number one, he's a multiple instrumentalist, so he plays more than one instrument, and just to think about doing that is like running, playing like 5 different sports at the same time. And that is an amazing, amazing aptitude and skill to have, and not a lot of people can do that. Second, when he expresses himself through his music artistry, he really feels his music, because that's what comes across in even his videos, or maybe not his videos, all of them, but if you read the lyrics, it's like, wow, this is a really good story, or this is like a really nice poem, or this is really good poetry. How do I actually feel this, to another level? So I'm just saying this to say that thank you so much for writing or placing some attention to Mr. Kravitz's music. If you actually did write that paragraph, saying that his work has been plagiarized, like in the black community, you could have 50 people singing the same phrase, and you know what, all 50 perspectives sound very different. So also when it comes to the production of black music as we know it, we don't copy stuff from people. We actually make our own stuff. So that is what becomes the soul of black music. Like I wrote a response back, and I'm like, this guy's really upsetting me, so let me use Michael Bolton. He's a Caucasian man, his singing is shit, and you know what, this man made millions. Over what? Copying people's music. To me, that's white privilege, that's white male privilege, and to me that's like, money that comes from our community and our ancestry that needs to come back to us. So, if you're going to write about music and stuff, be careful what you're doing, because that shit is just pure bullshit. Like saying that he plagiarized John Lennon and Sly Stone and, Prince. And I thought to myself, wow, that's pretty disrespectful. That's just like saying, oh, John Lennon didn't write any of his stuff, or his stuff was all like voiced over by somebody else, right? So, just be careful when you're putting these little critiques together. I also see that you write a lot of books and stuff, so I was like, you know what, I don't know if I should read one of his books just to balance the approach and the analysis, right? Because according to my background, I do a lot of like stuff related to academia, and there's a lot of people in the academy, the university academy, for example, and they write a lot of shit, because all they want to do is just get their stupid degrees, and then that's it. And they think of a degree experience as just being that, just get my money so that I can go make a job and get my material things. And, for me, I don't think of academia like that. I think of it as an expression of, like, personhood. So, when you're writing shit like that, if you did, you need to be able to feel the music. And you know what? If you can't feel the music, don't even go there, because it doesn't make him look bad. It makes you look really bad. And you know, you could get like all this unnecessary like stuff where it actually diminishes the sales in your records, or sorry, in your books. So you know, show some respect to Mr. Kravitz, because he's awesome. And you know, as a black male, it must have been really hard for him, especially good-looking black male, to and just like very against, you know, oppression. It must have been really hard for him to just be rejected, I guess, for, like, he could have been making millions way back in the 80s, but I'm sure he went through some rejection stages, right, where they looked at him and said, sorry, you know, I'm not going to take you. And then once they heard he was connected to, you know, for example, the Jewish community, you know, that's when maybe the doors started opening up. I have no idea. But you know, when you're writing about music, especially black music, take it from the perspective of how am I actually understanding the soul of the music and the soul of the artistry. Like Dibby Young in Toronto, Canada, for example, she does a lot of performance artistry, and it's very soulful. So, you know, just be a little bit more cognizant of what you're doing, and you know what, try and feel the analysis, because Mr. Kravitz's music is very, very good. It's a very good like storybook experience. It's a very good therapy experience, and also it's a really good sort of a strategy experience to understand how do you actually work through this matrix, this really disgusting matrix in North America that says that it's okay to still racialize women like me and to still sexualize men like Mr. Kravitz. Thank you so much for watching. My email is goose, as in the bird, Canada @gmail.com. If you'd like to, and you know, people out there that have comments, you know, I'm not one to say, oh, I'm just going to accept, you know, positive comments that, you know, agree with what I say. I don't look for shit like that. I look for people that are actually expressing themselves, and you don't have to express yourself like me. Please don't. But have your own way, and, you know, share that. So send me off an email. I'm trying to figure out a way to respond to my comments in 24 hours, because I do get a lot of comments on my YouTube page. It's pretty funny. So, thank you, Mr. Holtz, for watching my video, and I hope you have a really good day wherever you are in the global economic north or the global economic south. Take care. Bye.